Hello, what is up, friends? My name is Kay, and welcome back to your live feed recaps. So right now, we are right in the middle of week 6 in the Big Brother house. The veto ceremony has taken place, and the target is set for the week. There is a lot to update y'all on, so let's get started. So when we last left off, Indy and Terrance were both on the block, and Kyle had won the Power of Veto. Taylor had kind of been having a rough HOH week as her and the leftovers couldn't really decide on a consistent target. During the night though, the leftovers are going to meet up to talk about different scenarios. They could either keep the nominations the same, leaving Indy and Terrance on the block, or they could try to shoot their shot at somebody else on the other side. Eventually though, after talking for a while, they decide that Alyssa would actually be the best target for their group. But one thing you should know is that Kyle, the actual veto holder, is not present for this discussion. He's off somewhere else, and that's going to be really important later. See, at first, Alyssa wasn't really on Taylor's radar at all. Taylor and Alyssa had actually made a drunken final 2 like earlier a couple weeks ago, and Taylor had actually picked Alyssa to play in the veto competition in order to gain some trust with her. The veto competition that they played in ended up being one of those luxury comps though, where some people got prizes, some people get punishments, and you can kind of trade and swap and steal people's rewards. Well, apparently during that competition, Alyssa had actually stole a prize from Taylor and gave her a punishment instead. This is really going to rub Taylor the wrong way and make Taylor feel like Alyssa is kind of taking advantage of her kindness. But on top of this blunder, Alyssa probably has the best social game out of anybody else on that other side, so she's probably the biggest social threat there. Joseph seems the most excited for this backdoor Alyssa plan, and he's able to sway the rest of the leftovers to follow through with this as well. While I do agree that Alyssa is probably a really strong target for the leftovers, I don't think it's a good idea for them to mess with the nominations at this point. I know they're trying to create chaos, but this move is kind of sloppy, especially since you already got 2 enemies right there on the block. Things are going to get even messier though, literally. Remember when I said that Kyle wasn't present for the whole let's put up Alyssa situation? Well, Kyle's social game has really been lacking recently because he's been so distracted by Alyssa. In fact, when the leftovers were all meeting and discussing plans to backdoor Alyssa, Kyle had apparently been busy already backdooring Alyssa. I'm so sorry. That joke is so terrible. I'm sorry. Yeah, there is no clean way to say this. Kyle and Alyssa have been getting freaky in the have-not room on the butterfly floaty with the pink blanket. You're welcome for the details. I know them, so now you have to too, okay? Thankfully, they didn't show this to us on the feeds, but Alyssa does kind of tell Turner about this later on.
Yesterday, like, with.
That's nice. Like all.
But it like makes me like anxious almost, and I'm like, now I don't want those feelings to like dictate how I feel in this house, and I don't want to feel more like connected to someone, and then I'm like, was that the wrong decision? So that makes me super anxious. But please don't tell anybody that.
I'm not going to tell anybody that. And this is probably the wrong follow-up question, but just out of curiosity, where did this happen?
In the have-not room.
Oh, romantic, dude.
On a pool floaty in front of America.
It's fire. I know I'm not supposed to know this, and I know I'm not supposed to tell you I know this, but I know you guys fucked yesterday, which is dope, but that adds a whole other level of this.
I know.
Very recently, those two have gotten, you know, very close.
Which two?
The two we're talking about. Just in multiple ways, very close, very recently, for that to then feel like a whole other level of betrayal. And then she goes.
When the leftovers do finally get the chance to talk to Kyle and inform them about the whole veto situation, it's obviously too late. Kyle has already done the deed, and at this point he would look like an absolute monster if he backdoored Alyssa. Again, most of the other leftovers don't know how intimate their relationship is though, so Kyle is going to think of some other reasons not to put Alyssa up.
She thinks she knows this game and plays super well, but let's remember, she is the sole reason, and my relationship with her is the sole reason.
Why be alive?
Ameerah left.
Yes.
Nicole left. Daniel left. Indy is going to leave her. Whoever this week, like this great social player and great strategist ruined an entire game for the old school alliance, and now she does a bonehead move, and we're like shocked. It's like maybe we're overestimating good old Alyssa a little bit.
I don't blame Kyle at all for not wanting to use the veto, and I really don't think that's the best move for his game. Even though this plan is probably the best move for most of the leftovers, they really should be seeing some red flags with Kyle after this. They're all expecting him to turn on Alyssa eventually, but at this point, that's really not gonna happen. As of right now, the leftovers are all cordial, but there is a lot of tension bubbling underneath the surface. Kyle and Turner were pro Alyssa from the jump. They both can't stand Indy and would much rather see her go. Kyle's affinity for Alyssa may make him look sketch to the rest of the group, though.
The longer he stays in here, the more attached he's becoming, the harder it's going to be. That's why I told him, I was like, dude, you need to do it now. Like, if you're going to do it, you need to do it now. And that's kind of, you know, not gonna lie, that's disconcerting when you say, if you're going to do it, you need to do it now, and then he doesn't do it now. Does that mean you're not going to do it?
Joseph and Monte were both anti-Alyssa and would much rather see her go. They think she's a better overall player, and they are starting to see how her closeness with Kyle is a threat to their games. Taylor was very flexible in her nominations, but she's very easily swayed, and Joseph was easily able to get her on his side for this topic. Michael and Brittany had both been playing double agent during this whole fiasco, telling Taylor that they wanted Alyssa to go and telling Kyle that they wanted her to stay. They're trying to get both sides of the leftovers to target each other when the time comes down to it. We'll see if those plans end up following through, though. On the other side of the house, a new alliance has since formed called the Five Swatters. It's not really too important and obviously fake, as Kyle and Joseph are definitely not on their sides and are still with the leftovers, but it is important to note that Kyle's decision not to use the veto is going to make him look very suspicious to this group. The veto meeting was indeed held on day 41, and Kyle did not use it, so it looks like Indy will be the one leaving for this week. The leftovers continue to expire as this veto decision continues to raise tensions within the group. And with this weird double eviction twist thing that's coming up, there is no doubt that the leftovers are going to start to target each other. I can just feel it. So I'm interested to know, what do you think of Kyle's veto decision? Do you think he made the right choice, or do you think he should have used the veto on someone else instead? Let me know in the comments below. I, for one, am personally very excited to see what this new twist is this upcoming week, and I'm excited to see how these players are going to be living in two opposite ends of the house together. I don't know how that's going to work. Of course, I will let you all know if there are any more updates, but until then, I will talk to you all later. Peace.